putting her into the green room?
I am threw her in the green room with the rest
She's
of them,
she's
with the
in the
rest of the
green
crazies,
room.
with the rest of the crazies.
Okay, let me.
Any minute now, my wife's gonna come down here and be like, "Hey, come put the kids to sleep." I'll be like, "I'm in the middle of something. I'm in the middle of something, woman."
You
All
can
right.
just shush her out the way.
Shush. Oh, special guest star. Special guest star.
Hi,
Oh,
In the
Jet.
house.
hello, Jet. Welcome. How are you, kiddo?
He's asking a question.
How are you, kiddo?
Good.
How's that
Awesome.
cast-free arm feeling?
Better.
Good.
You like those one-word answers? He is
Yes.
ready for radio. Let me tell you.
I got someone here too.
Hi, sweet girl. How
Say
are
hi.
you?
She can't hear y'all like I can.
Oh,
Okay,
that's right.
You got the
She
headphones.
says hi.
Wow.
Say hi, Eden,
Hi. To who?
to everyone right there.
Hi, Eden.
Miss Sandy says hi.
Said good night.
All right. Good night, baby. Love you.
Why did you get back?
Good night. Love you. Go to sleep. Thank you. I love you.
That's probably the longest kiss she's done in a long time.
Right. I have a feeling
Good night,
she's going to be
baby.
thirsty in a minute.
Sorry. Okay. So tonight. All right. So we're back again tonight, and we've got a special guest who's in our waiting room. We'll bring her in shortly. But tonight we are going to be discussing children. You know, those little fun bundles of joy that are all around us everywhere. And
Those blessings.
yeah, you know,
You're disturbing. Go.
when they're real young, they like to hang around your legs and just don't go anywhere without you. They're kind of attached to mom's hip for the first, year or two, maybe?
3, try 4 or 5.
Yeah, or 12, maybe. I don't know. Are you going to come say goodnight, or are you just going to stand there? Okay. She's there. Love you too. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about children tonight, and we have a special guest tonight who's going to be joining Joe and Sandy and I, and she's going to be talking about children, but something very specific. One of the things we found out was that April was Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Is child
Is
abuse
oh
awareness.
is I'm sorry. It is Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Right.
And we wanted to have a guest come on and kind of talk about her perspective. She has a specialty that she can bring and just share with you. So without further ado, let's invite Rebecca in. Hey, Rebecca, can you hear us okay?
Hey.
Hello, Rebecca.
Welcome,
Awesome.
Rebecca.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. So, Rebecca, I was just telling all of our guests that you tonight we're going to be discussing children, and that you have a specialty in that area that we wanted you to share with everyone. So I kind of didn't want to give it away and start talking about it, and I wanted the expert to be able to say about it. But just kind of recap what the show is about for everyone who's joining. If this is your first time, we kind of wanted to Joe and I were doing these separate Facebook videos, and we thought, let's come together, and in a time when there's a lot of social distancing going out, for those of us that are social butterflies, we kind of miss hanging out and talking.
Right.
And so we kind of did one show, and we were like, man, it would be great to have another person. And Sandy, who's real easy to get along with and fun and outgoing also,
Wait,
she just kind of,
Sandy?
yeah. That's,
Sometimes.
So-
Oh,
she's in the room too, Joe. So,
my bad. My bad.
Thanks.
she just was able to round out the all of us, and so it just seems like a very natural thing to do. And so we'd like to have people come on every night and just kind of talk about any topic. We want to make it a light and fun breakaway from everything that's happening right now. And so if you give us an hour of your time, hopefully we can just give you a little fun and laughter during this hour. So, but saying that, we also want to give attention to the things that are important. And Rebecca, why don't you tell all of our listeners what it is you do?
And watchers.
Okay, so and what?
And watchers.
So my name is Rebecca Samples. I am the foster parent recruiter for Children's Hope. in Region 2 and Region 9, which a lot of people don't really know what those are, but Region 2 and 9 is Abilene, San Angelo area. But of course, I know y'all are in Lubbock, I believe. Maybe all of y'all are in Lubbock area?
Yes, we
We do have a...
No, we're not.
that
Oh,
guy.
take it back.
Not that guy.
Well, we have an office in that area, and probably in your area too, if I had to take a guess. But I'm also a foster parent as well.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
So you know from experience what it takes to be a foster parent, and you've seen how kids come in and are treated, and you are trying to correct their path and put them on the right path.
Yes, definitely. We've had me and my husband have had a couple of kiddos come in and out of our home, but growing up, my parents were also foster parents, so I got to see the sibling side of it as well.
Oh, okay.
So your parents were foster parents as well.
Yes,
Okay.
and my grandma
just-
also, she adopted
wow.
and fostered, so kind of just been something I've known my whole life.
Oh, okay. So you're like,
Awesome.
so that's actually something good that's been passed on to your family, unlike some families.
That passed down worthless china.
Passed down ghost stories and fear.
Right.
Oh wait,
Different show.
Is there a mute button around here somewhere? So, Rebecca, how long have you been doing this?
I have been a recruiter for over 3 years. I have been a licensed foster parent for, I believe, going on 2 years. Or no, going on 3 as well.
Okay.
2.5. Somewhere right in there.
Oh, and my producer just told me that you're actually adopted yourself.
She adopted.
Oh, you adopted.
No.
The
Yes,
producer's
I
yelling at me
adopted
really bad, y'all. Sorry.
Yes, my husband and I, we adopted. He was actually my first placement. I started the process single, and then me and my husband, I got married, and we adopted him actually the day before our wedding. So it was kind of a weekend of fun times. But
Oh,
Wow, that's awesome.
we've had
How
him
long
for
ago
3
was that?
years. Last April, actually.
Wow. Well, congratulations on
Thank you.
adopting your child, and then congratulations on being a newlywed, semi-newlywed.
Thank you.
and you have one on the way. Is that right?
Yes,
Ah,
I do have
Oh,
one
wow,
on the
you guys are
way.
busy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did y'all end
Been
up
fun
ever
with this.
taking the honeymoon?
Do what?
Did you end up taking a honeymoon?
No.
The answer
We
was,
did
we're
not.
still on our honeymoon.
right.
Right.
This is still the honeymoon phase, right?
That is perfect. So, what does it take to become a foster parent? Or where can we find out some more information about that?
So I actually have my own Facebook page. It's Foster Parent Recruiter Rebecca Samples. And on that page, I haven't really started too much, but this month I am going to do live videos and just tell you a little bit more about what it is to become a foster parent. So a lot of myths that people have are that you have to be married, that you have to be rich, that you have to own your own home. And of course, those are definitely myths. You can be single, you can be married, you can be divorced. As long as you can prove financial stability, pay your own bills without a foster care reimbursement, you can qualify to become a foster parent. Certain agencies have different requirements on like breed restrictions for dogs, but our
Okay.
agency does not. So if you have a pit bull or an aggressive breed, we'll just assess it, make sure that the dog is friendly and won't bite my head off if I go into your house.
And how long does that process usually take?
So I give an average of 3 to 6 months of how long it takes, but it can take longer and sometimes it can be quicker. It kind of just depends on how quick you are to get some of the documents. Right now, it is a little hard with everything that is going on because like fire departments, they're not going into homes. The health department, they're not going into homes. And some of the requirements are to get fire inspections of your home, health inspections, also to get like TB tests and statement of health, just making sure that you're mentally, physically able to foster a child. A lot of people, of course, don't want to go to the doctor right now.
Right.
And a lot of those places aren't doing things like that. So right now there are some holdups, but there are other things that you can start gathering. Every agency needs copies of your auto insurance if you have homeowner or renter's insurance, pay stubs just to prove that you are financially stable. If you're married, we need copies of marriage license. If you're divorced, we'll need copies of divorce decrees or death decrees. Like I said, rabies vaccinations for animals. We don't have a breed restriction, but we do require that all cats and dogs and even ferrets are rabies vaccinated.
Even ferrets, huh?
And ferrets.
Right.
What about snakes?
Hey,
I do ask that if I ever go into your home, you just keep the snake in the cage. My only thing that I ask.
Yeah, we know somebody
Okay.
that has some snakes.
Right.
they're really beautiful. Okay.
I've seen a lot of homes with a lot of different animals, so you kind of can't surprise me. I just ask that you just keep it away.
So I want to ask you a question, just
Yeah.
in the vein of kind of keeping things really fun and warm-hearted and things like that. Can you tell me a story of like one of the most heartwarming experiences you had, either as an adoptive parent or working in the adoption field? Is that right? Is that how you would say that?
The foster.
Yes.
Foster area. Yeah,
Trying
foster
to
area.
think. I have so many.
Your most recent one. How about we stick
My
there?
most recent one. So my son that we just adopted, we took him to Sonic the other day. I thought I heard him think that. We took him to Sonic the other day, and he asked me if when he grew up, if he can love and kiss the Sonic girl every single day.
Aw.
Awesome.
Of course, I said
Playa,
no,
playa, playa,
but
playa.
did ask
Right.
him when he grew up if he could.
Is his name Romeo?
Could have named him that.
How
He is-
cute.
He's definitely a ladies' man. If you
If
ever,
it's not Romeo, it's probably Casanova, right?
yeah, he will rock the cowboy hat. That's for sure.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
That's awesome. So, apparently, there's like a shortage or something like that of foster parents in Texas right now. Is that right?
Yes, Texas is definitely in the state of a crisis for foster parents. There's definitely not enough homes here in any area. We're having kids that are having to move all different regions, all different locations. So the state of Texas is divided up into different regions. So, for example, Lubbock, Amarillo, Region 1, Abilene area, that's Region 2. I'm Region 9. San Angelo area all the way to Midland. We're Region 9. And it kind of just spreads out throughout the entire state. So all of our kids that, if there's not a home in their local area, they're having to move different regions sometimes. Here in San Angelo, about 70% of our kids are having to leave San Angelo and go to other areas. So,
Wow.
for instance, they might go to Lubbock, they might go to Dallas, they might go to Houston, just because there is such a shortage of foster homes.
Wow. 70%.
Yes.
Wow. And so that makes it actually really hard on the parents too if they want to go visit their children to travel that far away or whatever.
Exactly. It definitely makes visitation, and unfortunately, if there are foster parents, sometimes the siblings are being split because homes only have room for one child or two child. And so recently there's been sibling groups of 4 or 5 and homes that can't take that many. So siblings are having to be split between two here, 2 there, or 1 here, 2 there. And so they're trying to keep them together. That's our biggest goal, is to keep siblings together, just to be able to maintain that connection with them and also with their, anything that's familiar to them. So like our, I know restaurants are closed right now. For example, if I were to leave San Angelo, I would definitely miss Hidalgo's. It's one of my favorite restaurants here in town. And so those kids are missing those things that are familiar to them. They're missing anything that they know, their local Walmart, their grocery store. I know if you ever go to any store, I'm a very social person, so I know my Sonic guy, by his first name. Just because, yeah, I go there all the time.
When you say that, I know you really love Sonic, actually. So
I do love Sonic. But you lose those things that you're familiar with, and what we want for our kiddos are to be able to stay in their same location and with their family if possible.
Absolutely.
I personally work with a lot of kinship families, so that's families that are related to the child that is placed in their home. So whether it's their grandchild or their niece, their nephew, they got removed and they were placed in their home. I work with a lot of families like that.
Okay.
And so I do want families to know that if you do have somebody that is in the state's care and they're placed with you, you can also get licensed, and there's a lot more support for you that way.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect. So keeping them with the family is always the first goal.
Yes, definitely.
what's the process? Can you tell us, in a little bit of time, can you tell us what does it take for someone to become a foster parent in San Angelo or the state of Texas?
So pretty much we all follow what we call Texas minimum standards, and it's just a list of rules. It's kind of a lengthy page, and it's made up by our Texas state legislators, and it's just a bunch of rules that we have to follow, just bare minimum. But the process, first you want to find an agency. If you are in this area, I can definitely point you to our Facebook page. We have Fostering Concho Valley Kids, and it's just we all work as a collaboration with one another. We're all here to serve the same purpose. And so what you want to do is find an agency, get with that agency. You'll attend an orientation meeting. Right now, I believe most of our agencies are doing them virtually. So something like this, doing them on Facebook, doing them on Zoom, doing them FaceTime. You'll attend an informational meeting. There is a packet of paperwork that you do have to fill out, but right now everybody's home, so
Right.
we're able to have time to do that.
Right. There's no reason.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're interested, now is the time to fill out all of the paperwork. There are some trainings that you have to do online in class, again, documents that you have to turn in. We write this lengthy paper all about your life. It's called a home study. And we pretty much just put any piece of paper that you've ever given us into a big 30-page document that just gives us a life story so that whenever a kid comes into care, we can place them with the right home.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then you
Awesome.
get a fancy piece of paper that says your license. And
No, you get a diploma or
yeah, I get the fancy
Like-
paper, the expensive paper, not just a regular sheet of paper. I get
Oh.
the fancy
Oh, hey
paper,
now.
and I put it in a frame.
right.
Might be a dollar store frame, but it's a frame.
What about, we got a question, says, what about in other states?
I couldn't tell you exactly about other states, but I would assume that it's the same process. A lot of states, they don't have different agencies, and some of them are with the county. So you would just have to pretty much Google, or you can ask me and I can look it up for you.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we put your webpage in the chats in the comment section.
Mhm.
That one's it, I think, right there. Where foster parent recruiter Rebecca Samples, right?
Yes.
So
that is-
anyone who's watching this, if you click on there, I went to it while you were talking, Rebecca, and yeah, it's just like any other Facebook page, so you can go to it, like it. She has information all over there. And I guess when they reach out to the information on here, that comes out to you or someone in your office, right?
Yes, it'll to which one? To my page specifically, or
I see a Facebook page. It says foster parent recruiter Rebecca Samples.
yes, that goes directly to me.
That goes
Okay.
directly to her.
Okay. So then if anyone has questions or is curious or wants to ask or just get more information, they can just find you on that Facebook page and you can reach out to Rebecca anytime. Well, not
Yes.
anytime, but
Right.
we're closed now.
Yeah,
It says
I-
9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I
Yeah,
see that.
correct. She
No,
does have
anytime.
life
I'm
and
pretty
2.5
flexible.
kids.
2.5 kids.
So, Rebecca, as we wrap up here, is there something you would just kind of like let's just say this was the freestyle for Rebecca, whatever she wants to tell an audience that she
Oh.
kind of just has in terms of your mission, your work, your passion right now, however you want to say that. What is it that you want to tell people listening to you right now?
I would say I do. I live and breathe foster care. I have for many years, and I would just say it's not as scary as you think. You read horror stories, and it's really not that bad. It's life changing for you and for the kiddo that's in your home. And I will say, get too attached. Everyone says they don't want to do it because they get too attached. And my thing is, get too attached. These kids need that.
Right.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great. So I have one more question here. Actually, sorry.
Okay.
I keep seeing fostering Concho Valley kids showing
Yes.
up in our message, and so how are they associated with you?
So fostering Concho Valley kids, again, that's here in San Angelo. It is the collaboration of all of the different agencies. So here locally, we have, I believe, 6 different agencies that we all work together to license homes. So fostering Concho Valley kids is just part of our group, or I'm part of their group.
Okay. So it's a conglomeration
Blah, blah,
of all of them. You like that? I was trying to come up with the biggest word possible. When I said,
It was a little too big.
Right.
Shorten it down. Shorten it down.
I'm going to go, it's a big group.
If you get on Fostering Concho Valley Kids, you can see all of the different agencies with a contact and their phone number. And so let's say you didn't want to go with my agency, which is Children's Hope, you could look at the other agencies. So there's Arrow or Worlds for Children, New Horizons, there's SPAD, Pathways. And so there's just a list of all of the different agencies that cover this area.
But all have the same ultimate goal to recruit foster parents.
Yes, to license
Awesome.
foster homes and to place kiddos.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right. Well, that's excellent. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you coming here tonight and taking
Yeah,
time out
thank you,
of
Rebecca.
your busy schedule and your kiddo and having babies and being a wife still. Oh, I mean, the list seems like I could probably go on and on, but I appreciate you taking the time out tonight to come in here and talk
Right.
to all of our viewers and us, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Appreciate it very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
All
So,
right,
Rebecca,
bye.
we'll let you go. Have a good night, and thank you for
Have a good
everything.
night, Rebecca. Thanks.
Thank you, Rebecca. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Awesome. So that was kind of cool.
That was
Do-
cool. I mean, you just don't realize what goes into fostering kiddos and all the paperwork. And of course, I mean, it makes sense, you know, you just can't just be putting kids anywhere.
She has such a unique perspective, right? Like, so not only did she foster or is fostering a child or adopting, but she also helps people foster and adopt, I'm sure, you know. So she's on both sides of the fence there, or whatever, however you want to say that, and helping people out. So she's got both perspectives.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm not sure if our viewers and listeners know, but my wife is actually part of Child Protective Services, and so she is well aware of the fostering system and all that stuff that's involved with it. One of the things that's going on right now that they're seeing, there's been a decrease in the referrals of kids being told about abuse and stuff like that, because most of the time that comes from the teachers, and since the kids are not in school, the teachers aren't reporting it, and so it's very important that if they see, if your neighbors or somebody notice, you know, kids are might be in danger, it's important that they make a phone call and report it as soon as possible. So there is a statewide number that they can call, you know, or you just call 911. You know, remember, kids are, you know, they're the future, so we really, if you see something going on, please report it. So
Right. So now that to keep in line with our topic tonight with children, I thought it'd be a fun idea to kind of share some of our most embarrassing times with our kids And
Oh,
while you think of yours, since I kind of just threw that out there, I'll tell you one. I'll start off. I'll kick off, right? Okay. So I can remember this was probably about a year and a half ago with Eva, my oldest, where she's getting her hair cut, and we're at the hairdresser, and this kid. So there's a Taylor Swift song comes on, and I'm not a fan, but you can't deny that her music is just catchy when it comes on, and so it comes on, and she goes, "Oh, Daddy, listen, it's Taylor Swift. That's your favorite artist or your favorite singer, right?" And the room was chock full of like these older men and the hairdresser, and I just remember I was like, "No, they're not, kid." And so she keeps repeating it and repeating it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so not true. But you think about it now, but at the time it was so embarrassing to be associated with Taylor Swift being my favorite artist, and I just was like, okay, I was taken back.
You know she's your favorite.
She's not my favorite artist.
You know she
Who
is.
is your favorite artist?
I don't have one.
Where's your Taylor Swift shirt that you were wearing the other night? Don't lie to me.
Listen. Okay, all right. Look, my other kid, we were driving in Walmart at the parking lot, and I still to this day have no idea why, but she was on this craze for a minute that was like stranger danger. So in the parking lot at Walmart, before this whole social distancing stuff existed, the windows are down. It's a nice summer breeze coming through, and she's like, "No, stop! Stranger danger! Stranger danger!" And I was like,
Oh no!
"What are you doing, kid? Oh my gosh!" So yeah, we had to have a talk about how inappropriate that is and how people can, Anyway.
Right.
Talking about embarrassing moments, those are two pretty embarrassing moments that I have with my kids. So what about you guys?
Okay, so the one that pops out for me that is still traumatizing and I might still blush, we were in church and Alex is a loud child and he was like, "Mom, you have a booger in your nose." I mean, this is loud. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Oh, it's moving." And I'm like, "Oh my God, please stop." And he's giving me play-by-play of this booger. And he's like, "Oh, it just flew out." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness. Like, can we please stop the torture?" So after church, we talked about it. And we're like, okay, so we're going to be calm about this next time. And we're going to refer to this as a wombat in the cave. And so from then on, I would always be like, "Is there any wombats in the cave?" before we went into church. Because, I mean, everybody and Jesus heard this flaring booger that we had going on. I mean, and he was like 4, and I still remember that. And he's now about to be 20. So yeah, it's very traumatizing indeed.
That's so embarrassing.
Tell me about it. Yes. And I'm like, and I mean, and I'm telling you, he was like, "It's moving, Mom. It's moving up and down." I'm like, I mean, if you ever wanted to throat punch anybody in church, that would have been the day.
No.
I don't care how old you are, kid. I'm gonna.
I mean, it was awful, and I'm still traumatized to this day. I'm like constantly checking, like, we got anything going on.
Oh my God,
it's awful.
So was that your oldest or your youngest?
That was my oldest. My youngest has done plenty, and I'm trying to think of one time. Well, he hugged me, and he was like, "Mom, you're getting kind of squishy." And I'm like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, your tummy is getting squishy. Are you gonna have a baby?" And so it was then that I decided to become bulimic. And so, but I promise you, I have a million stories, and they surface every now and then because I post my stuff on Facebook, so they surface every now and then. They just give me a good chuckle. They've embarrassed me their whole lives.
Oh my gosh, that one is pretty funny though. That one's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. So for mine, I don't really remember any embarrassing stories per se of what my kids, because they're all shy and they don't really say much. Like they would never even mention the booger. until
Oh
after.
my gosh.
They would let it
Lucky.
hang down the whole time, and I would be
Those little
"Why didn't you
boogers.
say something," and they would be like, "Oh, because we didn't want to."
Right.
I do remember one time we were driving to Ruidoso, and we were in someone's vehicle, and I got pulled over, and I was like, "Oh, what? Why did I? It's fine. We got pulled over, or whatever." And so, get the ticket or whatever, and I'm yelling at everybody in the back. It's like, "Did anyone see the cop out there?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I did." My oldest
Great.
daughter said that to me, and I'm like, "Why didn't you warn me? I thought you saw him."
Oh, I have one of those stories. With
Yeah,
mine, too.
it's so crazy. And then, so really, my biggest story is like, I used to game a lot. I was a very intense gamer. We would play games in my garage on the weekends, playing Halo, hooked up and stuff like that. Well, I've kind of gone away from that, but part of the reason that I've gone away from it is this kid right here. This kid right here. Yeah, that kid.
Yes, you with the face.
Yeah, him. So we were playing a new game, or a game. What game was that? It was it's on Switch, the Nintendo game.
The Zelda,
No, it's a fighting game.
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers. We're playing
Street
Smash Brothers.
Fighter.
No.
Mortal
We're playing
Kombat.
Smash Brothers, and I notice that I'm winning a couple in a row, and then I look over. I'm like, "Are you taking it easy on me?" He goes, "Well, I don't want you to stop playing."
Oh, that's awesome, though. That's a good kid.
That is so cool. Like,
I was
That's
playing
a
a game
good kid.
I even thought about, kid.
he's so sweet. He is so sweet.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest reason that I don't play especially fighting games with him anymore, because he takes it easy on me, and it just like
You know
degrades
what though?
me.
That what goes around comes around, right? Like whatever you do to others, you get shown up to your own kid.
Right, exactly.
So
I thought-
all those people who you were ripping up at Tech and Tag at Caboose, you're
Yeah.
going to get it double time now through your own kid.
Right, exactly. It came
So-
full circle.
It'll feel good later when your eyes don't work, but it sucks now when you really can't beat them. That's so cool. You know, one of my favorite stories about kids from your kids, Joe, was the night that your son told me I play Halo way better than his dad.
Oh.
That is
I was like,
blasphemy.
yeah, I remember that. I was like, he's like,
Disinherited.
you're really
Disinherited.
good, Mr. Hyman. Or Jamie, you're way better than my dad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What are you talking about? That's fake news.
that was a paid commercial. Paid commercial right there.
Oh,
You
Jeff
know-
says that you have 100 hours on Halo. So yeah.
It is what it is. Speaking of embarrassing times with other people's kids, though, Sandy,
Yeah.
I remember, and I wish Maris was on here. I wish Brianna was on here, but no, it wasn't you, Sandy. It was the other Sandy who used to hang out with us. But I remember one day when Maris is a friend of ours, and her daughter comes running in the house, and she runs up to not this Sandy, but the other Sandy who used to hang out with us. She runs up to her and she's like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." And then Sandy turned around and looked at her, and it wasn't her mom. And she like backed up a couple of steps, looks down, and then she just starts bawling and bawling. And I was like, "Oh, I saw that whole interaction like perfect window right here, and it was so sad."
Yeah, she's just like,
The only reason she thought was because when other Sandy was sitting there, she was sitting there and her hair was just covering, and Maddie's had long hair during that time. And so she didn't see her face. She just saw the hair and she's just like, "Oh, mommy, mommy." And no, she ruined that little girl's world that day. So
And that baby now is at Tech.
"Oh,
Do
I'm
you
about to
think-
graduate."
About
Graduate
to
Tech?
graduate?
Yeah.
Stop it. My gosh.
we
Yeah.
all go through that, right? We all, when our kids get older, it's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember her because she would laugh. I could say like hot dog, and she would just crack up laughing.
Giggle box.
Because
Yeah.
I was supposedly, well, I am pretty funny, but I was the funniest guy to ever run into.
She loved you, man.
Such
She
a
said, yeah,
sheltered
you're right.
life.
I know, right? There's so much of the world out there for her.
Totally kidding.
Funny.
You're a
I
regular Commodian.
I'm a closet comedian. What? No, you got
No,
me.
you got it right the first time. You
Right.
got it right the first time. Let's not correct it. Yeah. So, how are the kids coping with everything that they're going through right now? How are you guys how are the kids handling all this stuff?
I actually had my kid write me a letter. I said this morning when I woke him up, I said, I need to know how the coronavirus has affected you. And so let me go grab that real quick.
Okay.
Oh, this ought to be fun because
Really?
he's quite the illustrator. And
Well,
story.
one, this is really hard to read because he has horrible handwriting. It is serious. Like
I told him to type it. Just text me that.
Wait, should we have you read it or should we have him read it?
no, because he needs a censor just like his mother. No, we just can't be having just wild things up in here. I'm gonna skip through most of it, okay?
Oh, come on, Sandy.
Well, he even crossed out. He was like, "Oh, that was a rant. Let me just cross that out."
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna just X this out, Mom, and don't read it,
Yes.
okay?
That's what he told me, and he's like, "This is just a rant," and I'm like, I just asked you for a little thing. Okay, so he said the COVID-19 virus has affected this family in many different ways. We don't have as much money coming into the household. And so that comes from, we actually had to take a pay cut in the Abbey household. Eric's job, he works in the oil field. And so we've taken a pay cut.
Okay.
And so, and so one, I made the mistake of saying that out loud. And two, because I'm talking about this boy's a grazer, and so I'm just like, hey, we're not having that much money. So I was trying to guilt him. I'm like, hey, we're kind of broke, so don't be eating as much. But anyway, it was a joke, and so now he's feeling it. But anyway, he's like, we can't have many guests over, and he knows that Mom is a social butterfly. He loves everybody coming over. And but this virus has taught us to be careful with our money and how to be more sanitary. So the sanitary part is wash your hands, quit touching stuff. That's the sanitary part of it. And it taught me to keep as much faith in Christ as possible. It has taught me how to appreciate and like in everyone I love. I think that this virus isn't just this handwriting, guys, is a mutated flu, but I think it might be here for a reason. And no, it's not the end of the world. I think it might be here to teach us something. It caused us to work from home. And last but not least, it reinforced and probably taught some people that the government cares about us. And then he goes on to rant about the government. So we're not going to go into that.
That'll be in the bonus features. I want to read the bonus features later. Just curious, okay? How old is he? How old is this one?
He's 14, and he's very opinionated. So
I want to, yeah.
Really? Where does he get that from, Sandy?
Eric told his daughter.
Oh, Eric, how did that bust through, man?
I mean, that is his dad through and through.
Right, yeah. I can definitely see that. That's why we have you on instead of Eric.
Right, because Eric has to tone it down a notch.
Right, yeah, because he would go off and it would be...
We would need censors.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? My kid, she can't stop thinking about the virus. She's like, earlier today we were talking about. I was like, hey, okay. I was like, can you give me some ideas on ways to encourage and love mommy? What do you think? And she was like, I can't think of anything but coronavirus, Daddy.
Oh, baby.
I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I have started this new thing in the house where instead of trying to battle or fight the anxiety or the things that causes stress or whatever, try to accept it and continue on. So instead of being like, you have nothing to worry about, I'm not going to, instead of saying that, I'm always like, okay, well, just imagine that everyone in the world has coronavirus. What are ways that mommy and that daddy could love or encourage mom?
Oh.
But you know what? As soon as I said that, she's like, you could make a buffet out for mommy and then have her come out of the room and start eating. She just went left and right. And I was like, okay. So her brain was ticking it and she accepted that and just kept going. So I was like, cool. Okay. It's a tactic that has been working very phenomenally in my house. So
Well,
don't
that's
argue with
good.
them.
Good, good,
Accept
good.
it and move on. Be like, yes, baby. Everyone has cooties. So what are we going to do then? What does Jonathan want for his birthday?
Let me tell you, my family is designed for this. This is what they do. They are isolated, except for myself and my oldest daughter. Jet and Kiki, it hasn't affected them one bit. It just means more video games for Jet. And then for Kiki, that's what she was doing the whole time anyway.
Right. Ooh, people.
We actually made fun of her because like she would say that she's going to hang out with her friends and be like, who? She's like, you have friends?
She's like, I got family.
Yeah. So she usually sits in her room and she doesn't have normal sleepovers or anything like that. It's just crazy how independent she is and how friends are like not even, I wouldn't even say on the back burner. They're still at the store. She's just like, okay. If she doesn't see anybody for a while, it's no big deal.
So, she's like the
friend
kid that you see in those pictures where they're like, have you seen those social pictures where there's a kid at the library or the cafeteria eating by themselves, and they're like, when you see this, go sit next to them and be their friend and make them feel wanted. I always go to those pictures and I always say, how do you know they want you to be around them?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, leave the kid alone. Like, if he wants someone around, I think he might find some people,
Right.
But sometimes they just want to be left alone.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Kiki in daycare, I got a call from the daycare because this kid decided to sit in her spot, and she just walks up to him and just pushes him over.
Oh, wow.
That's one way to handle it.
Yeah, she was like 4 or 5 years old, and she was like,
Where did she learn that from? I wonder.
like,
Yeah, I wonder.
I go, why did you do that, Kiki? He was sitting in my spot.
Oh gosh.
She's like, I didn't.
She was very matter of factly, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And so, like for Cade, and he's a homebody. Like he hates to go to the store. Like we always try to drag him out. So he has been fine through this whole thing, and he is an asthmatic, so he is compromised. So we're just like, yeah, you just stay at home. So today we actually ventured out for work. I had to go find a farmhouse and take some pictures.
Oh yeah,
And
out on a field trip.
Chancla ISD.
Oh, I saw that. I love that. I'm gonna have to adopt that one.
Yes. And so we actually went out, and Eric had to hop on a phone call. So I thought, we talk a lot. We're just going to go ahead and explore at this rest area. So we stumbled into some pretty cool things, but he's a little homebody. This has not affected him in the least bit. He misses his friends, but he gets to text them and play video games with them. So he's fine. Eric is fine with it. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, gosh, I wish I could have some friends over. Like we could totally,
Right.
and I'm okay with getting, because I have to go to the office every probably a couple of times a week, and I'm like, oh, let me just run up to my office and see what's going on. Which nothing, I'm the only one there, but
Yeah.
I do miss the social part of it.
Right. I feel you on that. So Alex is asking, you talked about me?
Yes, that's the one with the wombat in the cave.
Oh, I meant to ask that earlier, Sandy. Okay, I thought the most interesting thing of that story was where in the world did the whole wombat part come from?
Honestly, I have no idea. I don't even remember where we got it from. And then another thing that we adopted was Walmart is open, and that was for when your zipper was down. Because I'm talking about, these kids would just blurt things out. And so another funny story about my kids. When I was pregnant with Cade, I had bought these tiny little shirts, and they're supportive.
Uh-huh.
And so I pulled it out of the package, and Alex was 4 years old, mind you. He's like, wait, you're going to put that on? And I'm great big old pregnant. And I'm like, yes, I am. He's like, oh, I've got to watch this. He runs over to the bed, and he's like sitting there. So, I finally pried over my big old stomach, and he's like, you going to go to work like that? And I'm like, no, I'm going to put a shirt over it. And he's like, okay, because everybody's going to make fun of you with your arms all out and everything. This kid, oh my gosh, he killed me with some of the stuff that he would say.
Oh, wow.
But so this Alex is asking, like, what's the topic? That's my kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the topic that's scrolling along the bottom there. He's like,
Yeah, he's like, "What's the topic?" Just like his mother, doesn't read anything. We don't pay attention.
You ain't got time to read stuff flashing on the screen
No,
telling you what the
no.
show's about.
Someone summarize that for us.
Children can't live without them. Can't kill them.
man. But
Well,
Balana though, so Balana works at Chick-fil-A right now, and their drive-through is open, but their dining room is closed. And she says they're hammered every day. They're hammered, and so if anybody's getting exposed, it's her. And then she's like, right now she's not even here. She's out with her boyfriend, her dude friend. So he's
so
officially
have you?
right now.
Okay, so what's your protocol for when she comes home? Do you Lysol her down? Do you spray her down so that you guys won't get anything? Like, what are you guys doing?
She takes showers and stuff like that, and she's already a clean freak as it is. So
Well, that's good.
yeah. But yeah,
So my kid was trying to invite friends over, and I'm like, okay, look, no,
Yeah,
we can't
right.
have anybody coming in here. Like, you keep your Corona over at your apartment. And I know he got a little hurt, right, Sonner? Your feelings were hurt. I'm like, look,
poor Missy,
I'm
too.
like, look, we just can't have it. Cade would be in a ventilator in a heartbeat if we caught the Corona.
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so that asthma is something.
The whole thing
It's
is no
bad.
joke. I get it. It's no joke, and it's hard for our kids to understand what's going on. Right? It's weird because no matter how old they are, so my wife and I, I usually debate with a lot of people when they say that their child is an adult. They're 21, 22, 23, and I'm like, nope. Unfortunately, you will not convince me that anyone under the age of 25 is an adult. I don't care what the government says. I don't care what anywhere said. I'm going to fall in line with the medical. And the medical says that brains are not done developing until the age of 25.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes that
Yeah, it does.
that helps my world out so much. It explains so much.
Especially nowadays, like kids don't know how to do anything. It takes them. They just don't know how to do anything. My daughter was like, "How do I?" She woke me up in the very early morning to say, "How do I turn the printer on?" She's
Oh no,
she's
no,
had
no,
it kills me.
no.
And I'm
I
like,
mean, that's like in the hair. I mean, that's like in your
that's
DNA.
supposed to be there. And I walk in like half asleep, and I just slam the printer. Like, here's the button, and then walk and turn around. She's just laughing at me. I'm like, you little.
I wonder how much the producer would come on and say, well, let me tell you about my husband.
Right.
Yeah, where is that producer?
Well, luckily, the producer is she's somewhere else right now.
So, okay. Yeah, so the kids are definitely indoors a lot more right now. And I don't know that would change much in terms of their own free will to leave the house, but it definitely changes mine. I miss going out and hanging out with other people. I miss seeing their kids. I miss seeing their families. And it is tough. But yeah, the kids are like, can so-and-so come over? Can we have a
Yeah.
play date or party or whatever else? And it's like, oh gosh, it's really not getting through. Let me rephrase that. It doesn't get through much to the older one, but she is sympathetic to it. Sometimes she gets a little crazy in here, and she's just like, I
How old
want
is
to
she,
go.
Jamie?
So now she's 12.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
she's 12.
She's
Yeah.
12. Man, you're old.
Yeah, right. God, who has a 12-year-old?
Right. Who's got a 12-year-old? Oh my gosh.
So I have I was going to say I have the youngest, but Joe's got the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Right.
how old is Jet?
He turns 12 in July.
Oh, never mind. I have the
Stop
baby.
it.
Mine's 10.
Oh, you do have the
She just
baby.
turned 10.
Yeah, I had to kick Jet out of the room because his keyboard was like he was playing a shooter, and all he could hear was him click on the
So we didn't hear that, but I messaged the producer on the side, and I was like, the screen. I was like, his screen's distracting because it's behind Joe, and the white you could see everything moving, and I was like, I didn't tell her to do it. I didn't tell her to do anything. I just said the screen's distracting. So
yeah, did you see him moving all the stuff? He's like, and then he's looking at the
I-
camera. Like, I think he wants to be part of the show, but he doesn't really want to be part of the show.
he wants to
Kate just
photobomb
wants to
the
watch
show.
it on YouTube. That's all he wants to do. He's like, is it on YouTube? I can subscribe. He's like, to get y'all's viewers up.
I appreciate that, but
These kids. Oh my goodness. Let's
Yeah.
subscribe, likes, comments, stuff like that. It's crazy how things have changed. Like they don't even know why we say hang up the phone. Like, why do y'all say hang up the phone? I'm like, because we used to have to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
He's like, why don't you
that was
just
within our lifetime.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like they don't even know that. They don't understand that terminology and why we'd even see that. Like they've probably they've never even seen like what's it called, a payphone. It's like,
You know, we had one of those. I don't remember how many years ago, but I remember it's down the street. We have this one street that we get off on, and it's connects us to the rest of the city. We go down that street, and there used to be one. And I remember when Eva would ask, "What is that thing?" and we had to explain the concept of a payphone to her.
Yeah, she's like,
She was just kind of like, "Okay."
you put
I don't know what
in it to
she's like.
make
Does
a
it give you
call?
gumballs?
I know, because it defeats the purpose of saying, "Here's a quarter, call someone who cares," because they're like, "What?
Doesn't work
What do
anymore,
you
right?
mean?" No, it doesn't work.
Is it- Yeah.
You're so outdated when you say things like that.
Right. It's like- So what are some terms to our audience that that you may say now that they have no idea what we're talking about, and they just
Oh
look
my
at you crazy?
gosh.
Yeah, like call
Good
here's a quarter, call somebody who cares. Like collect call, like they don't even know what a collect call is.
No, I don't think I've ever even discussed that with my kids about a collect call. Not that I would answer it or pay for it, but still. They already know. They'll be calling me collect.
You know, I thought the other day, Sandy, when you were talking about the Super Bowl commercials, like that was still stuck with me, and I was thinking I'm already used to no commercials. I was like, I wonder if the kids know and understand. But oh, you know what? But they do know. I remember that. So when when before all this started happening and the debates were going on for the Democratic Party, I remember Eden was asking, or there was something on NPR, and she's like, "Oh, they're talking about who to vote for, Daddy." And I was like, "Yep." And she's like, "Who are you going to vote for?" And I said, "Who do you think I should vote for?" And she said, "Who's that old guy with the gray hair? He's on all the videos. He comes on all the time. He says, 'Vote for me.'" And that's the guy you should vote for. I don't know who she was talking about. I do know now, and I won't say, but I do know who it was.
Right.
I'd say if I was that rich, I'd be able to put as much videos out too. So I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
But I do think that was so. I think that their interaction with commercials is on YouTube only, because we definitely don't watch TV around here.
Well, so not on ours because we have the premium account. So I'm not trying to show up. I
Don't
hate
mean to toot my own horn, but toot toot.
Right. It was so
Oh,
amazing
look at
on the
Alex.
DVR. If on the DVRs when you used to have to fast forward, it recorded it, and then you still have to fast forward through the commercial. And I'm like, this is so crazy. And that's why I don't even know when shows are on. And then they're like, so when does this show come on? I don't know. What? Why?
Is it recorded yet?
Yeah, it's like, just stream it from something. I don't know.
So
Drew said,
that
"Oh, go ahead."
Alex's banner that you just had on.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this commercial? It was an MCI commercial, maybe a Geico commercial, and it's a collect call.
Oh.
And he's like, "It's Bob, we ought to baby YouTube." So he remembers
That's how he's
that.
calling his dad or his parents.
Yes.
And his
Right.
dad,
He's like,
no, we will not accept the collect
he's
call.
like, "Who was that, honey? It's Bob. They had a baby. It's a boy."
It's so genius, though. I love it.
Yeah, so that's what he's referring to. On
Oh
that
wow.
one.
Yeah, that was they just say
Wow, Alex, I'm impressed.
you're trying to say really fast. And
Yeah,
can
Bob,
I
we ought to
say
baby
who's
it's a boy.
calling?
What does he mean right here, Sandy?
Well,
Growing up
'cause-
poor
okay,
and having an
so-
older soul, I know for sure what most everything is.
So Alex has always had. Everybody's always told him he has an old soul, and
Okay.
so there for a while we did struggle when it was just me and him, and so that's his definition of growing up poor. But mom still always had money to have her nails done, so we weren't that poor.
Right.
We just didn't
Priorities.
get child support. That's all that is.
Right.
Oh, you want that for Christmas? Did your dad pay child support this month? That's all that is.
Oh,
So don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
not putting anybody on blast, are we?
Right, nah. Hey, they know. Or
They
he
know.
knows.
That is
There's-
crazy.
There's the beautiful Abby family back
What
there.
do you like? He got his face all tear it through.
I didn't do that on purpose, but I don't know how to fix it. I'll learn better down the road.
All right.
Julia said, "My mom says to put your message through before it charges."
Oh yeah, that's Bob. We had a baby. It's boy.
Yeah, there you go.
Same one.
That way nobody will accept your charges.
Nobody
But we
will.
know what you meant.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
They don't know the joy of recording your favorite song on a tape,
Oh man.
radio, and waiting for that song to come on, and hoping that the DJ doesn't lead into the song so much.
All right.
Okay, so here's my favorite song that I would always try to catch. Are you ready for this?
Oh wait,
Timmy. Oh
no, is it not a?
no, it's not. You're
Okay,
thinking
all right.
Angel.
Go ahead. Yeah. I know.
Okay, it's Timmy T. One More Try.
Oh.
That was in 1992 when I was going through a lot of things as a 12-year-old.
All 12-year-olds go through a lot. Wait a minute.
What's your daughter listening to?
She's watching Zombies too, and High School Musical still stuff. So.
You'll have to listen to the lyrics. I mean, it was the best song, and I think it was like Z102. Do y'all remember that?
I remember
Z102. Z102 never played it. I called constantly to request that song. It was just few and far between, but man. And so, okay, so check this out. Nerd alert. I when we got MySpace, I found Timmy T on MySpace. And I reached out to him and I told him I was your #1 fan of your one hit wonder. Anyway, he replied back.
Oh snap!
Awesome.
Oh man, it was so awesome. But yeah, Timmy T. One More Try is the best song ever.
Wow.
When you were 12.
And were you able to actually catch it on the? Did you have it like recorded like several times on your on your
Okay.
tape?
So I recorded over one of my dad's tapes. It was a Spanish tape. And so, you put the little thingies. And so I recorded over it and tried to take off all the things. And I'm like, what tape are you talking about?
Yeah, paper in the
Yes.
thing so it could actually record. On
Yes.
the cassette, there is a place. If you pull out a cassette, I'm gonna.
Oh, stop it right now. I thought we were going to go way back.
I was like, are you gonna pull out the boombox?
No, sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
Oh, I was like, is that an 8-track player? Please tell me.
No.
Tell me you're not pulling out a cassette player.
No. That would have been awesome, though. Actually,
Yes, I was ready for it.
I'm
No.
sorry. When
And then I
people
also,
mention music, I've got to get. I've got to get to it fast. When we used to work together, Joe and I, we used to, like, if it was a slow day around Christmas time, you'd see both of our offices. We'd go back and forth with who could find the oldest school jam better, whose old school jam was better.
Right. Mine was always better, so there was no
well,
contest.
okay, so what was it? What were the 12?
Well, when you're as old as Moses, of course you can find a better old school song. I would expect you to.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say he won those, but I was pretty sure.
I remember Timmy T. That was a good song. That was a good song. I don't know
Was
if
it Joe? Okay, because I just was like the biggest nerd ever and was his #1 fan.
right. But you found him on MySpace. You definitely were.
I sure did. I stalked him.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at that! You can throw it all school.
Don't play too much. You might get copyright.
I'm fixing to go back to 12 real quick.
She was going through some emotional times during that.
I was. Listen to that song, and I didn't even have a boyfriend at that time, but I
I
sure did
pulled
miss
up the
him.
lyrics over here. I pulled up the lyrics. I won't say them all because I don't know what kind of emotional state it'll put Sandy in.
Right. Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it. I'm ready for this.
He says, "It's been a long time since you left me. I
Yes.
didn't mean to make you cry. I didn't mean to disappoint you. I didn't mean to tell you lies. And after all that we've been through, won't you let me tell you why?" And then he says, one more try. I didn't know how much I loved you. One more try. Let me put my arms around you.
Wait. So he's lied. He said lies, not just one
Yeah,
lie.
he
He said
one.
lies, plural.
Sandy, leave
He
that
was-
fool. Leave him. Leave him,
Tried
okay?
to, and they
Living-
sang the song to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm back.
I'm back.
Living, see, he was living all those lonely nights without you. Oh, baby, can we give it one more try?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
he's
at
lied.
12 years old, I had already been through a home wrecker. I mean, I survived a home wrecker at 12. What were y'all doing?
I was jamming out, but I don't know what I was doing like home wrecker. What year was this, Sandy? 92, you said?
I want to say 92, but I could be confused.
Well, I won't even say what I was doing in '92 because that's just
You were like graduating.
Shut your face.
Right. 30 days past September.
I really can't guess what you were doing either. Just sorry.
Oh my goodness! No, just shut up. Okay, we can keep. It's almost time to end the show.
Oh, okay. Dang it.
No way.
The song came out in
On TBT?
1990. The
Right.
song came out in 1990. But that doesn't
Oh
mean
my
you weren't
gosh! So
listening
I
to
was
it in
like
92.
9. How old was I? Somebody calculate. I was like 8. The next show topic is home wreckers. Who destroyed your life?
Ouch, that'll be hard.
Who destroyed your life at 9?
But we forgot to ask our guest what the next topic should be. But we did get someone did comment on some cool topics, so maybe we should pull that up so we can see.
Ooh, I got an idea. So out of what everyone was saying there, maybe that's what we talk about. What's an old like commercials? Maybe we do commercials tomorrow.
I don't
know.
Commercials.
You know what? If you guys are watching this still, comment on what you think would be some topics for us, and the three of us will look through it, and I'll pick which one I think is best, and we'll go with that one.
Don't say commercials.
Right. Okay, speaking of commercials, because you triggered my memory, do y'all remember? Oh my gosh!
Oh,
so
Alex.
ridiculous! He's ridiculous.
What?
He's being hilarious. Okay, do y'all remember that episode on Finding Nemo when he's like, "I never knew my father." That's Alex. He's totally kidding. He knew his father.
He knew his father.
He did. He did.
Okay,
He's just a
good.
jerk. No, he's totally hilarious. But
I'm so
Do y'all
confused. Who you're
remember-
talking about as a jerk and hilarious now.
Alex, the same thing.
All the above.
T.
We can be lots of things. Do y'all? It was a Pepsi commercial, and I think it's Cindy Crawford. She's like
Oh, yeah.
Norman Feeney. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Norman Feeney.
Yes, and they're like little babies in a little nursery.
Oh no, I don't remember that one. I remember
That sounds creepy.
the Cindy Crawford one where she's drinking the Pepsi, and they're like, "Oh wow, she's drinking a Pepsi." This is like, okay.
No, it's Norman Feeney, and I can't, and I know it's Cindy Crawford, and she's looking at the little babies in the maternity unit.
Oh wow, I guess no, I don't know.
I mean, that was like maybe 89.
How do
I
you
was
spell
going through
Fifi?
some more things. I mean, I can't remember.
Like Fifi Dobson?
I was definitely too young to remember during that time. So
You probably weren't even born yet, Joe, when that commercial.
definitely wasn't even born yet.
I bet it was a Super Bowl commercial, Super
His
Bowl
birth
1 or 2.
If it was a Super Bowl commercial, I definitely.
Super
I
Bowl
don't
1 or
even
2.
watch football.
Super Bowl 1 or 2.
Moses
That was
knows,
awesome.
but he's just in denial.
I don't even know what football
Moses said
is.
he was gonna keep a secret for the rest of his life.
All right, we need to wrap this up.
Sorry, yeah. I was trying to find that commercial, but maybe another time. So anyway, everyone, you go in. Oh, wait, quick. Hold on.
Jet said aliens in space. Oh,
That
wow.
sounds a lot better than missing fathers and child support.
It does.
Oh, aliens in space. Okay.
We could do or future like sci-fi type stuff.
So the next topic should be your childhoods and your homework.
Shut up, boy. He just trying to like get me like foster, my child put in foster care or something. Do not listen to him.
Mindy wants to know what's everyone's age. That's
25. 25.
Let's see. I was 12.
Wait, you know what?
89.
Tomorrow, tomorrow is my
25 years ago when I first met him.
25th birthday tomorrow. So tomorrow's my 25th birthday. So we need to make this a big show.
Wait, I thought-
It's Joe's birthday.
that's right.
Yeah.
Today's your
That's
birthday.
No, it's April 3rd. It's always April 3rd.
No, my phone said April 2nd and it never lies.
Yeah, it's
Your
April
phone's a
3rd.
liar.
That's
Your
what I said,
battery needs to be
April 3rd.
charged.
I said
So
it's April 3rd.
So we need to get this out to a lot of people, and I want to see
Oh,
this
that's right.
live comment thing filled up with happy birthdays and Amazon gift cards. And so
Here's my account. Go ahead and deposit those. Joe,
since we
that's
can't have a
right.
birthday party,
You know what?
Since we can't go to
Joe,
Johnny Carino's.
Joe has a bank account at the Bank of Egypt from 1 BC. And so if you all can make a $10 deposit in there.
is that an old joke? I don't understand.
Go ahead and chisel it on your tablet to get that.
That's it.
Wire that over.
We're wrapping this up.
Halo or Advanced. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sci-fi, futuristic.
I like it when Chris says it better, actually.
We'll see the advancements in future. We were supposed to probably be having flying cars, but we're just teaching people how to wash their hands. So
Oh,
we'll just go ahead. We'll just go ahead and go back to
that's
that.
good.
I don't know that history like that one. Burn.
Sick burn. Sick burn.
All right. So, yeah, we should wrap up. You're absolutely right, Joe. Anyway, everyone, I hope you had a good time hanging out with us tonight. I really want to say thank you again to Rebecca for coming on earlier and just giving her a shout out for really the month. The awareness is
Child abuse
Awareness.
thank you. When it's more than 3 words, I have a hard time saying it, everyone. So that's why I was kind of waiting for them to help me out. Okay. I did it at my wedding too. Remember, it was yeah.
Conglomerate.
She is a foster parent recruiter, and if you are thinking about or want to know more information about being a foster parent, please visit her page. You can find it early up in the comments and give that a whirl and all that stuff. So,
Yes. So as we like to always say,
Wash your hands.
for 20 seconds.
you filthy animals.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Toodles.